Have you ever felt like life keeps beating you down, like no matter how hard you try, something always goes wrong? Betrayal, failure, loss, pain. It feels like the world is out to break you. But here's the truth. It's not life that's breaking you. It's your mind. You've been trained to be fragile, to run from pain, to fear discomfort, to beg for an easier life. But what if I told you that's a trap? The world isn't fair. It never was. The strong survive, the weak crumble, and the difference between the two is mindset. The Stoics and the masters of dark psychology understood something modern society has forgotten. Pain is not your enemy. It's your greatest weapon. Today, I'll show you how to train your mind to be unbreakable so that when life comes for you, you'll laugh in its face. But before we go deeper, drop a comment below saying, "I am unbreakable." Let's see how many warriors are here. Now, let's begin. Number 1. The truth about pain. How your mind becomes weak. Weakness doesn't happen overnight. It's a slow, silent infection. It starts with small things, seeking comfort, avoiding discomfort, craving approval. You don't realize it, but every time you give in to fear, every time you run from struggle, you are training your mind to break. And then one day, life hits you with real pain, a betrayal, a failure, a loss that shakes your soul. And what happens? You shatter, not because the pain is too much, but because you were never trained to handle it. The Stoics knew this all too well. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor, wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." But most people do the opposite. They blame life. They wait for circumstances to change. They hope for an easier road instead of becoming stronger themselves. That's why the first step to becoming unbreakable is to stop fearing pain. You must reprogram your mind to see suffering not as destruction, but as transformation. Because pain isn't what makes you weak. It's your resistance to pain that breaks you. If this is hitting deep, comment below. Pain makes me stronger. Let's see who's truly ready to train their mind. Now let's move to the first law of mental strength, the rule that separates the weak from the strong. Number 2, the first Stoic law, control what you can, let go of the rest. Most people waste their lives fighting battles they were never meant to fight. They obsess over the past, they fear the future, they let other people's opinions, rejection, and failures consume them. And in doing so, they hand over their power. But the Stoics knew the secret to an unbreakable mind. Control what you can, let go of the rest. Epictetus, a former slave who became one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, said, "Some things are up to us, and some things are not." Understand this. You don't control the storm, you control how you stand in it. You don't control who leaves you, who betrays you, or who tries to break you, but you do control how you respond. You don't control whether life is fair, but you do control whether you let it make you bitter or stronger. And here's the harsh truth. If you spend your energy fighting what you can't change, you'll always be weak. If you focus your energy on what you can control, you become unstoppable. So right now, ask yourself, what pain am I holding on to that I can't control? What fears am I feeding that I should be starving? Because if you don't master this rule, life will own you. If you're ready to take control of your mind, comment, "I control my mind. My mind doesn't control me." Now, let's go deeper into one of the most powerful Stoic techniques to prepare yourself for anything. Number 3, the power of negative visualization, preparing for the worst. Most people live in denial. They hope things will get better. They hope life won't hit them with tragedy. They hope that pain won't come knocking. But the Stoics knew, hope is not a strategy. If you want to train your mind to be unbreakable, you must do what most people fear. You must prepare for the worst. This is called negative visualization. Seneca, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, practiced it daily. He would imagine losing everything, his wealth, his home, even his life, not to make himself suffer, but to make himself ready. Because when you've already faced the worst in your mind, nothing can shake you in reality. Think about it. If you knew you could lose everything tomorrow, how would you live today? If you accepted that pain was coming, would you fear it or would you prepare for it? Weak minds ignore reality. Strong minds train for it. So right now, visualize your worst fear. Imagine failing, being betrayed, losing something precious. Let it sink in. Feel the weight of it. Now tell yourself, if this happens, I will endure. I will not break. I will rise again. Because when you make peace with the worst, nothing can scare you anymore. If you're ready to train your mind for anything, comment below, I fear nothing. I am prepared. Now let's take this even further. It's time to rewire your mind using voluntary hardship. Number 4, how to rewire your mind using voluntary hardship. Comfort is a slow poison. The more you seek it, the weaker you become. The more you avoid struggle, the more fragile your mind grows. The Stoics understood this. That's why they practiced hardship before hardship arrived. Marcus Aurelius slept on the floor instead of his royal bed. Seneca wore rags and lived like a beggar, even though he was one of the richest men in Rome. Epictetus, born into slavery, trained his mind to be free even when his body was chained. Why? Because they knew that the man who chooses suffering before it chooses him is never caught off guard. This is called voluntary hardship, and if you want to train your mind to be unbreakable, you must make yourself uncomfortable on purpose. Wake up earlier than you want to. Take cold showers. Fast when you don't have to. Push yourself harder in the gym. Walk in the rain without an umbrella. Do the things that make you uncomfortable because discomfort is the training ground of the strong. When you expose yourself to controlled suffering, real suffering doesn't scare you. When life throws you into the fire, you won't beg for mercy. You'll welcome it. If you're ready to embrace hardship and become stronger, comment, I choose struggle. Struggle makes me powerful. Now let's take things even deeper. It's time to master the art of emotional detachment. Number 5, the art of emotional detachment, becoming untouchable. Your emotions are a weapon, but right now they're being used against you. Think about it. What breaks people the most? Anger, fear, sadness, attachment. Someone insults them, they react. Someone leaves them, they fall apart. They fail, and they spiral into self-pity. The Stoics mastered the art of emotional detachment. They knew that emotions left unchecked make you weak, but when controlled, they make you unstoppable. Epictetus said, if someone succeeds in provoking you, realize that your mind is complicit in the provocation. No one makes you angry. No one makes you suffer. You allow it. But here's what they never taught you. Emotional detachment is not about being emotionless. It's about being in absolute control. Who benefits from me feeling this way? Is this emotion based on facts or my own perception? Will this matter in a week, a month, a year? Reframe the pain. The Stoics believe that nothing is inherently bad, only your interpretation makes it so. Betrayal is a lesson. Failure is a teacher. Rejection is a redirection. Control your body. Control your mind. Your emotions are linked to your body. When you're angry, your breathing changes. When you're sad, your posture weakens. The quickest way to regain control: change your physical state. Slow your breathing, stand tall, loosen your muscles. Your mind will follow. Kill the need for validation. The moment you stop seeking approval, you stop being controlled. Stop waiting for texts. Stop seeking praise. Stop craving attention. A Stoic does not need anything external to feel whole. What happens when you master this? You become a mystery. People try to get a reaction, but you give them nothing. You become a fortress. Rejection, failure, betrayal, they pass through you like smoke. You become dangerous. The world can't shake you, manipulate you, or break you. And that's the ultimate power. If you're ready to stop being ruled by emotions and start ruling your own destiny, comment below. I own my emotions. Nothing controls me. Now let's go even deeper into the dark psychology of mental resilience. Win now. Your choice. You can resist, you can complain, you can wish things were different, or you can embrace everything and turn it into power. Which will you choose? If you choose strength, comment below. I love my fate. I use everything. Because next, we enter the final level of Stoic resilience: how to turn pain into power. Number 8. The ultimate Stoic test: how to turn pain into power. Pain will either break you or forge you into something greater. Most people run from it, numb it, complain about it, or let it consume them. But the Stoics, the warriors, and the unstoppable minds of history did the opposite. They used pain as fuel. They turned suffering into strength. And now, so will you. Here's the truth. Pain is inevitable. Weakness is a choice. The Stoic way: transforming pain into power. Do not resist pain. Absorb it. The first instinct of a weak mind is to fight pain, to resist it, to wish it wasn't there. But the Stoic mind does something different. It welcomes pain like an old friend. If life hits you, take the hit. If suffering comes, let it flow through you. If you feel broken, sit with it. Do not run. Do not escape. The moment you stop resisting pain, it loses its power over you. Extract the lesson. Find the strength within the suffering. Every painful experience carries a lesson, a tool, a hidden weapon. Betrayal teaches you who you can truly trust. Failure shows you where to improve. Loss forces you to grow beyond what you thought possible. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" ask, "What is this trying to teach me?" Because the moment you find the lesson, your pain transforms from a burden into a gift. Use pain as fuel. Transmute suffering into strength. The greatest minds in history all had one thing in common. They turned their darkest moments into their greatest strength. Marcus Aurelius used his suffering to become one of the greatest emperors in history. Epictetus, born a slave, used his pain to become one of the greatest philosophers of all time. Nelson Mandela used 27 years in prison to forge a mind so powerful, he changed the course of history. Now it's your turn. Take the pain that was meant to break you and use it. Turn heartbreak into focus. Turn failure into determination. Turn rejection into self-mastery. Burn the weakness. Keep the strength. This is your test. Life will hit you again. That's guaranteed. But the real question is, what will you do with the pain? Will you let it break you, or will you forge yourself into something untouchable? Comment below. Pain fuels me. Nothing can break me. Because now, you are ready for the final step, the mindset that will make you unshakable for life. Number 9. Embrace the fire. Become unbreakable. You've made it to the end, but this is not the end. This is the beginning. The beginning of a new mindset. The beginning of a mind that cannot be broken. The beginning of a version of you that uses everything, fears nothing, and never folds. Because now you understand something most people never will. Life isn't supposed to be easy. It's supposed to forge you. Most people will never accept this truth. They will keep complaining, keep running from pain, keep hoping for an easy life instead of becoming strong enough to handle a hard one. But you are not most people. You are here because something inside you refuses to be weak. Something inside you knows that pain is not your enemy. It is your fire, the fire that forges you. From this moment forward, pain is no longer something to fear. Every struggle is a test of who you really are. Every failure is an opportunity to sharpen your mind. Every loss is a moment to prove to yourself that you are greater than your circumstances. Because now you know the truth. Life isn't happening to you. Life is happening for you. This is the mentality of warriors, of emperors, of masters of the mind. They did not beg for comfort. They did not wish for things to be easy. They embraced the fire, and because of that, they became unbreakable. And now, so will you. The test of the unbreakable mind. There is one final test, one final decision. You can walk away from this video and go back to the way things were. Go back to letting emotions control you. Go back to breaking under pressure. Go back to the way the world has conditioned you to be: weak, reactive, afraid. Or you can choose something different. You can choose to be the kind of person who stands in the storm and does not waver. The kind of person who sees pain coming and does not flinch. The kind of person who, when life tries to break them, laughs and says, "Is that all you've got?" This is the final test, and it never ends. Life will keep testing you. Pain will keep coming. Hardship will never stop. But now, you will not break, because you are not made of glass. You are not made of fear. You are made of fire, and fire does not burn, it consumes. It grows. It becomes unstoppable. Your final mission: if you are truly ready to train your mind to be unbreakable, then prove it. Comment below, "I am unbreakable." Let's flood the comments with strength. Let's show the world that there are still people who do not run from hardship. We embrace it. And if this message resonated with you, if you feel this fire inside you, then hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications, because this is just the beginning. This is Stoic Buddy, and this is where the strong are made.